let me carve a pumpkin here for you. 2003, you just got home from trick-or-treating with your dad because you have no friends. You were Bart Simpson, he was Homer. You sit down for your mom's famous severed fingers and her spooky punch. You suck it down as your whole body still reeks of rubber from that mask. You hit a cowabunga, Mom, as you traverse to the family room to crack into your Pokemon pillowcase, which is full of snack-sized candy bars. You take the Whopper's mouth and Almond Joys and huck them at your sister from across the room.
Nice shot.
She resists or retaliates. You hit her with an
Eat my shorts.
Pegarolo directly in her eye. The density of the caramel and the chocolate are perfect for air travel and maximum pain. You put on channel 52, Disney, where they're about to put on a movie that is good, spooky, and suitable for children. You talking Coraline? Nightmare Before Christmas? Hell fucking no. We're talking a Disney Channel original. Wait, what are those?
You're a real one. Boo. It's Halloween, bitch. Trick or treat, bitch. Young Georgie in the cut, yo, that's my seat, bitch.
The beat go off? Welcome all ghouls, goblins, ghasts, and ghouls.
We're obviously here to talk about the 1998 classic film Halloweentown and its sequels, but not the one where they recast Marty, because that one's dirty.
Yeah, justice for Kimberly J. Brown. She didn't even know. They didn't even offer it to her. They just recasted her. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Then,
well, she doesn't have the juice like that, though.
But the girl didn't even look like Marty, and they kept Dylan, the brother, they kept the mom, they kept everyone except for her.
I thought the girl in the newest one was the girl from Gilmore Girls, but she's not. But
no, she looks like it.
Anyway.
Irrelevant. Never watched it, never will.
I think since we're talking about one of the first major Disney Channel original movies, or how they are colloquially referred to as DCOMs amongst circles in the know, I think it'd be nice to go back and talk about how the Disney Channel movie originally came to be.
Well, that I don't really know.
Well, luckily I copied this from an article. From 1983 to 1997, films were released under the banner of Disney Channel Premiere Films. This was at the time when Disney Channel was like HBO or Showtime was a premium channel. So these were movies that were aimed at more families / like adults. For example, the first one had Roy Schneider in it. Jaws, French Connection.
What was it?
It was a baseball drama called Tiger Town. So, like, you have Roy Schneider in a movie to get parents to watch it.
I guess that's why they had Debbie Reynolds in this.
Yes.
They probably try and get one known celebrity.
So your mom's watching from the other room. She's like, I know her. And your mom's 80 years old or something.
I don't even know anything really with Debbie Reynolds in it.
So, once Disney became a part of the basic cable package in the early 90s, they started focusing more on content solely aimed at the child. Now, the first major Disney Channel original movie was Under Wraps, a movie about where kids find a mummy in their basement, which they actually just made a sequel to this year.
They did?
Yeah, I saw that on Wikipedia. But the first big hit was 1998's Halloweentown, the film we're here to talk about today. Eventually, DCOM started to take on a life of their own. It was a way to spotlight the talent of the Disney child actor. For example, Cheetah Girls, you have Raven and that shit.
Yeah.
And then you have Cadet Kelly, you have Christy Carlson,
Mana, Hilary Duff.
Ronaldo.
Yeah. You got the Twitches.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And it became a system of taking a popular child actor from one of their shows, dusting them off, giving them a new character, and putting them back in your N64. A little bit of a thing, a little bit of a time.
A little antidote.
Yeah, antidote.
Antidote?
I just came up with an antidote. So shows like Kim Possible, Sweet Life, Zack and Cody, and even Stevens got feature-length stories in this system as well. So it was essentially just double episodes that they would package as a movie.
It's pretty much just in-house Disney everything. Like, it seems like the DCOMs are just directly related to the TV shows. They just recycle everyone throughout them.
Mm-hmm. And it's to get all of your time. They want all of your time.
Well, it's like you see, Corey in the House is in Life is Rough DCOM. Oh, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. Or Shia LaBeouf plays mentally challenged.
That was a DCOM?
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. But obviously, the one that everybody always talks about, High School Musical, elevated it to just another one.
Yeah.
And it actually created like a real real life stars in Hudgens and Efron. Like they kind of transcended like the Disney fandom. And
Well, yeah, Zac Efron's like,
he carried it into a career.
yeah, he's in that new A24 movie. Looks pretty good about wrestling.
Mm-hmm. And this actually blew my mind. The highest rated premiere under the banner and brand came in August of 2007 when High School Musical 2 set a record for basic cable with 17.2 million people watching the premiere.
I was watching it.
Same. But that's like an unfathomable number. That's like...
It's higher. I think it's way higher because people had parties to watch that.
Yeah, I was at one.
I was with my family. There was probably like 10 of us watching it.
Yeah.
That was such a big deal. And I wasn't even like necessarily a High School Musical kid, but it was kind of like a kid Hamilton of the time, perhaps. Like, I don't know. It was everywhere.
Without the historical significance, I guess. So, cheaply producing these movies was a great way to keep a consistent element of hype around the calendar year for the network. Tune in weekly for the new episode of your favorite show, monthly for the brand new movie, and get your dad to take you to the theaters a couple times a year to see Spy Kids and Sky High.
Oh.
So they wanted you all the time.
Yeah.
And then maybe once a year, if you beg enough, your family will take you to Disney World. They want your whole life.
That just literally sounds like my childhood. I watched DCOMs all the time. I'm pretty sure I saw Sky High in theaters, maybe a Spy Kids or two in theaters, went to Disney a couple times when I was younger. Like,
Well, I will note Spy Kids technically was under Miramax, which I'm not sure.
It was that vibe, though.
Miramax is owned by Disney now. I'm not sure when they bought it, though. But so technically now Spy Kids is a Disney.
The Zachary Levi Spy Kids is under their umbrella now.
Yeah. So it's honestly like the model that they're now doing with Disney Plus, where they want a show to roll into a show, to roll into a show, to roll into a movie, drop it on their platform. It's the same thing. It's essentially just become the Disney Channel. But before we kick it down the road, what are your favorite DCOMs?
Best one, I think. Well, best two actually. There's a couple that come immediately to mind. Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, Smart House.
Smart House.
I like those ones.
Smart House is one of my favorites. Johnny Tsunami is another banger. Classic.
Never really watched that one.
That one went hard, and then Even Stevens movie I do actually like a lot as well.
Oh, the Kim Possible movie too. I that was really good.
I have a lot of memories of that. But where does the Halloweentown before this inspection? This inspection, where would that have, you think, have landed?
I would probably give it a top 10 just for like a shout out. Like if I looked at the list of DCOMs, I would probably in my head go, I remember Halloweentown being pretty good. I would probably put it like top 10 around there.
Yeah, I don't think mine
there's
would
like 40
be
movies.
quite there, but it would be just outside probably.
I had fond memories. I still do have fond memories of watching it when I was younger. It's just not. It's not for me now. It's not. That's what I'll say leading up to it.
Yeah, so we can just get into the reduction of the first film. There's not much here, but Steve White was the head of NBC's movie and miniseries department in the 80s and started his own production company. The Wonderful World of Disney, which had been airing on NBC since '88, was a sought-after property, and ABC wanted it to return to its network because ABC is under the umbrella as well. NBC agreed to relinquish the rights so long as Walt Disney produced 6 movies for NBC in return. In '91, Sherry Singer, Senior Vice President of TV Movies for Disney, was assigned to collaborate with Steve White on movies to fulfill the contract with NBC. It became a bit of a love story.
Oh, yes.
The two
in my research.
Married in '93. And Singer and White shared a comment from his daughter where she said, I don't know where to go with... No, never mind. He is saying this about his daughter. He said, I don't know where to go with this, but my daughter said to me, Dad, where do all the creatures on Halloween go the rest of the year when it's not October 31st?
Wow.
And he got the concept out of that. I don't necessarily think that that's the concept of Halloweentown, but okay.
That's the concept of the idea of Halloweentown.
Of the town, yeah.
And then they gave it to a writer who just...
Yeah, because the creatures in Halloweentown don't come to, I almost said America.
It is America.
The real realm, though, at all.
Not even once, honestly.
Just the grandma does.
Just the grandma and Caligar and the frog. No, he was just a frog. He wasn't a frog guy.
Yeah. So with the green light, Singer and White approached the screenwriter. So he took inspiration from his own life and used the name of his children, Marty, Dylan, and Sophie, as the protagonists. It was later shelved in '94. This version of the script was aimed more at adults, which Jesus Christ, I would have been interested in seeing that.
Yeah.
Because in '97, Singer and White established Singer White Entertainment. That's not that creative of a name. They returned to the idea of Halloweentown. The duo pitched it to Disney Channel, who initially passed on the project as well. But they changed their mind when Under Wraps aired and it did well. So they said, bring me back that Halloweentown movie
Thing.
and they redeveloped it into a children's film, which was presented as a $20 to $30 million project. Ended up spending $4 million, and $3 million of it, as I told you earlier, was given to Debbie Reynolds, who then gave it to her daughter for cocaine. Because they weren't spending money on this movie,
No.
I can tell you that much.
Because I think they told the director it was like a high budget, like made for TV movie.
Yeah.
And that guy kind of, I looked up in the director's page. He's not like a well-known guy, but he's worked on, he's won an Emmy. He worked on Twin Peaks. It's a very well-revered show.
Wow, yeah.
And
I didn't do that research.
And he directed Halloweentown.
Yeah.
Because he's got like an eye for the occult and eerie. This Dwayne character.
Yeah, so that's honestly all I could conjure up for the production of Halloweentown. There's really nothing for 2 or 3.
I saw Julia Roberts they wanted originally.
Powers? What powers?
All right, we'll give the first one a little bit more of a spotlight, go through it like we normally would, and then we'll touch on the other 2 sequels without touching on the 3rd sequel. Single mother Gwen Piper refuses to let her kids, Marnie, Dylan, and Sophie, go out on Halloween. Gwen's mother, Aggie, shows up for her annual Halloween visit. Aggie openly encourages the children to get more involved in Halloween. Aggie and Gwen are secretly witches. Despite objections from Gwen, Aggie is intent on training Marnie as a witch. Before heading home, Aggie reads the children a bedtime story called Halloweentown. They don't like that. Oh, really on the nose.
Yeah, everything's on the nose.
It looks like you, Marnie!
Well, this is something else I read. After they casted Kimberly J. Brown as Marnie, they made the book look like her on purpose.
Wait, there was a book? The book was a thing?
No, like the prop.
okay.
The prop,
Got
they
it.
made it look like her.
Got it. After putting the children to bed, Gwen and Aggie get into an argument, and Marnie, who snuck downstairs, eavesdrops and hears that Gwen is angry that her mother encourages the children to enjoy Halloween and insists Marnie will be raised as immortal, like her father was, and not a witch, revealing Marnie is actually a witch too. Aggie then asks Gwen for help. Citizens of Halloweentown have been disappearing and believes that foul play is involved. When Aggie leaves to return home, Marnie and Dylan covertly follow her. They see Aggie get onto a magical bus that comes out of nowhere, and they sneak onto it through the back door. I'll just cut it off there because that's when we switch sets.
Too long. This was too long. This was a third of the movie.
Yeah, I think it was a good 20 minutes.
It was 24 minutes because I think I clicked. I'm like, we're in Halloweentown now.
Yeah.
Here's
There's not a lot there.
Bad parenting by the mom. I think. Why couldn't they just celebrate normal Halloween? I feel like it makes me quite. The mother's parenting is pretty bad because I would be pissed and I would wonder why. Why aren't you letting me celebrate Halloween?
And then as soon as you get your first little taste of Halloween, like the kids do in the movie, they only want that. If you let them have it and enjoy it a little bit, they wouldn't be so obsessed with it.
I don't know. I didn't get that, and I'd be a little pissed if my mom was keeping my magical powers at bay.
Well, the first thing I was met with was the ugly, horrible font of the credits that you can count the pixels. It's like they almost didn't have the license for the font they were using.
I think they went in like Microsoft Word, like whatever version that was, and made like word art. And that's what I think they did.
Weird ass liver entrance where the little girl is accidentally using her powers to move the cookie.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The mom stops it and eats the cookie, and the grandma's first line is, you better be happy that she doesn't like liver. And I didn't even know what she was going for. What I'm assuming is it's alluding to the fact that the mom may be eating cookies like that all the time. So if she liked liver, she would be eating liver like that all the time.
I don't know, we were like breath smell or something. Like
the weird ass liver line.
Another weird line. I don't know what he meant by this. The grandma was saying Halloweentown's a diverse place for everyone, all the creatures, goblins, ghouls. And then Dylan was like, "You mean like Cleveland?" I was like, "What did he mean? Like, what did he mean?" Then he said, "They got good schools there. It's a good school district."
No, Dylan is not even a human being. This child is He is so much like Ben Shapiro. That's all I can just see is Ben Shapiro.
Especially in the next two movies,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
even
He just
worse.
becomes Shapiro. It's
I
gross.
didn't mind him in this one because he gets a little sense of whimsy towards the end,
Yeah.
and stuff. And he's a little kid, so it's like it's a little cute when he's doing his little kid. He's like, "Oh, I must be dreaming" or
I
something.
agree.
But
I like how he keeps trying to explain it practically.
yeah,
But the thing is, at the end of the movie, when he uses his powers for the first time, normally in the second movie he'd be more into the powers, but then it comes to the second movie and he just hates everything still.
yeah, he just wants to be human.
So another thing that was insane was the mom. How Marnie sees that she can use magic is she's watching the mom and the grandma argue, and the mom. There's like fried chicken on the table, and
Oh
she turns
yeah,
it back into a real chicken, and then she turns it back into chicken wings. So she animates this chicken.
She brings it to
and then
life.
Murders it. She murders a chicken.
Was it ever alive? Who knows?
It
The magic they use is so
So you're saying 'cause it
overpowered.
wore off and then it became chicken again?
Oh no, I think she did that. I think she brought it a lot.
Killed a
But
chicken.
their magic is so unexplainable and OP. It's either OP or they don't know what they're doing at all.
They don't know how to use it and control it until the movie's about to be over, and they need to realize how to for the movie to control it.
And the way they do it is so bad. I don't know. Not a lot really. I just didn't. I was just waiting for them to get to Halloweentown the whole entire time.
Well, we're about to get there. Marnie and
Oh.
Dylan realize that Sophie had snuck onto the bus with them when they get to Halloweentown, and the three begin to look for Aggie and are approached by Calabar, the mayor of Halloweentown, who's definitely not the bad guy, who gets in the cab driven by Benny, a skeleton who tells corny jokes. The children find their grandmother's mansion, and against her better judgment, Aggie decides not to take them back to their home immediately. She says she will start Marnie's witch training, but she has to take care of the bad thing first. She shows her grandchildren what she was talking about. In her cauldron, a vision of a hooded figure appears, laughing maniacally. She says she must activate Merlin's talisman with a spell and potion to defeat the evil creature. So, intro to the town square, intro to Calabar, the villain, intro to fan favorite Benny, the driver,
That was the coolest
the house.
costume, I guess.
Dude, when they fucking when they're filling up the talisman with liquid, there's shots of the ladle, and there's just clearly no liquid in it, and they go like this, and there's just nothing going in it.
The prop looks so bad for Merlin's thing. It just like literally looked like a flashlight.
And when she's at the cauldron, the youngest, what's her name?
Sophie.
Sophie goes, "Are you cooking chowder, Grandma?"
Are you cooking chowder, Grandma? I like chowder.
I like chowder. And I was like, what?
The whole thing, it's just strange. And the grandma explains, I have to take you home. And she's like, well, 2 hours in Halloweentown is like 2 days. It's like a week in the mortal realm. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't understand.
And it's 100 years. 1 year is like 100 years or whatever.
I think the grandma is supposed to be like 200 years old or something.
She says that she was alive during the Renaissance.
She's old as hell because a year in Halloweentown is 100 years on Earth.
Yeah.
So in between seeing her grandkids every year on Earth, she's living 100 years.
Well, yeah, if you want to get into like their life and stuff, it makes no sense. Like, how long were they in Halloweentown? Why does the bus go to America?
Because on
once a year?
Halloween, that's when the portals open. Because the monsters can roam freely
Okay.
without judgment.
Oh wait, now there are other people on the bus, so that is what they're doing.
So
The movie's just not concerned with that at all, so it doesn't really.
that's cool. As an
Show.
idea, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
the monsters come and
Because they can
bull
blend in.
because they're just literally hanging out on Halloween. And they don't touch on that at all.
Everyone in the town square is very clearly a human being in a Halloween costume, and like the costumes look real bad.
You can tell because when I was reading like the fun facts or something, like they're like, yeah, if you look at the costumes, it's usually just masks with people you can see their hands.
Yeah.
Then the second one and third one, you could try. They fixed that a little bit.
Well, a couple costumes got more attention than others. Like
Yeah.
like there's like more prosthetics used in some, and they look better. But some are dead ass, just like a dude walking around.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt very disappointed just here. You don't even in the Halloweentown trilogy, you spend not a second learning anything about Halloweentown itself. Just weird things on the outside.
Yeah.
This one, you're at the grandma's house, a weird movie theater, and maybe a convenience store are the set pieces here.
Well, you're at the town square the most in this film. That's why I like this one the most.
I don't know. I just wish it was more. It just felt so empty there. I guess
it feels. It
doesn't feel it lived
in all three of these movies. The characters in the movie seem like the only people that are in the universe.
Yeah.
At all.
And I don't like that because you're advertising this movie as a bunch of monsters are going to be around you.
Yeah. Okay, so where do we go? Okay, so after trying and failing to light the talisman with the instant potion, Aggie takes the children back to the town shop for the right ingredients. The family is introduced to Luke, a goblin who was
Local
made handsome by a shadow creature.
Yeah, that's like so questionable. Why does no one question that kid? They're just like, he made a deal with someone to look pretty, to be human. What?
I'm sure it was a fair deal. Gwen, who had noticed her children were missing and immediately blamed Aggie, arrives in Halloweentown to retrieve them, much to Marnie's objections. Gwen tells the children to say goodbye to their grandmother, and she takes them to the bus station but cannot find another bus back to the mortal world, according to the two-headed ticket vendor, whose two heads are constantly arguing with each other, and not just two people that are wearing one costume. They're connected.
That's a cool idea, though. That's like something fun.
No, yeah.
But if it... Nothing else.
She decides to see if the mayor can do anything to help. She is shocked to see that the mayor is Calabar, an ex-boyfriend of hers. After Calabar briefly leaves to handle another problem, Gwen and her children see Aggie walking somewhere with Luke. Sensing Aggie might be in trouble, they follow Luke and her to an abandoned movie theater. There, Aggie meets the hooded demon, where the missing Halloweentown citizens have been frozen in time. Oh, yeah. Also, in the beginning where she's like, I forget what the lady gives her, but she's like, she's like, hey, Aggie, you want a muffin? And then like 5 minutes later, when she's like,
I wrote that down.
Harriet.
I wrote down Harriet.
I remember that part from when I was a little kid.
I don't. That was so weird. Like I thought they just became like boring or something. Well, that's the second one. But
Yeah.
They just like literally turned feral.
Yeah. I forgot about this. I lost my spot.
We're meeting the ghoul in the theater
Aggie
now.
declines to give the talisman to the demon. Gwen and the children enter the theater as Luke rushes out in fear. The demon freezes Gwen and Aggie. The children escape and obtain the necessary ingredients. In a montage, the hair from the werewolf, the sweat of the ghost, and the vampire's fang. I texted you the picture. You can just see that the woman has a tooth that they just painted black, and they didn't.
They could have just done a different angle to fix that completely.
Well, the only reason you can tell is because you can see the light coming off of it, but also if she goes like this,
very clearly,
yeah,
it's
like,
they're
why
not
did you have a shot of her talking if it was gonna be that obvious?
They're not trying at all to hide that.
And a vampire's fang to make the potion that will activate the talisman. They then realize that they must place the talisman in the large jack-o'-lantern in the center of town to defeat the demon. When they arrive to install it, the demon appears and reveals himself to be Calabar, who is bitter that Gwen chose to marry a human instead of him. So he's mad incel.
Wait, so that's why he wants to destroy the
According
humans?
to the Wikipedia plot, yeah.
I just thought he was evil.
I thought he was evil.
And then that was a side part
Yeah.
of it. Like, he just wants her to be the queen.
I didn't realize that was his motivation. That being revealed as his motivation makes him seem real.
I think Wikipedia is wrong, because in the second one, Cal shares his his son shares motivation. He doesn't give a shit about mom.
Mm-hmm. He starts talking to the townspeople and tries to persuade them to join him and take over the mortal world with the help of Luke. Marnie slips past Calabar long enough to climb up the jack-o'-lantern and place the talisman inside. Calabar, noticing this, casts a spell to freeze her. As she's about to pass out, Marnie drops the talisman into the jack-o'-lantern, which causes it to illuminate, and then it's like smiling. And this unfreezes her and everybody trapped inside the theater and severely weakens Calabar. The children reunite with their mother and grandmother, and Calabar obtains the talisman and says that he will use it to become the ruler of both the mortal and magical world. Dylan is revealed to have magical powers as well, and eventually joins Gwen, Aggie, and his sisters in confronting Calabar and using their combined powers to defeat him. Luke is restored to his goblin appearance, though Marnie tells him she still likes him either way. Gwen and Aggie decide to train Marnie as a witch, and Aggie decides to stay in the mortal world to spend more time with her grandchildren, and the film ends with them getting on the bus and blasting off into the mortal world. That is Halloweentown 1.
Terrible conclusion
Just
to the first movie.
Just a terrible film, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be too much of a hater, like in general, but just it was so lazy, and you could just tell they were making it for kids, and it worked. Like I really liked Halloweentown when I was younger. I'm nostalgic for it.
Yeah.
But it's poorly made all around.
I consider the call to action to be 58 minutes into an 80-minute movie.
Is it when the grandma gets captured?
Is when the grandma finally gets captured, and the little sister's crying, and the three siblings realize that it's up to them to save the day.
And they do it really quick, though.
That is the call to action. 2/3 into the movie. That should happen 15, 20 minutes into the movie.
It just felt like, I don't know, it felt like a weird, like, backdoor pilot.
And then
type
you're
of
right,
thing.
they just very easily collect the things. It's a montage where they very easily collect the things, and then they very easily beat the bad guy. And the magic works because you want it.
Well, it was
What kind
so
of fucking
bad.
universe is that?
There was, I think it was maybe on the IMDb, there was an alternate ending where Barney had to bring, what's it? The wizard stick thing?
Merlin's talisman.
Merlin's talisman to something in the woods or something, and every step she took, she aged or something while she was walking to this thing.
Interesting. That sounds way more interesting.
That's
than
how
that guy.
in this thing she just gets shot at and stunned and then just drops it in the pumpkin.
Another observation I had is when they're in the movie theater with Calabar and they're fighting, there's a vortex, and one of the people that's petrified flies into the vortex. Did that person just die?
No, maybe they probably did die.
There's never a shot in a line later in the movie where they're like, "Oh, I thought I was gone."
Because it seems like you can go there because Calagar goes back and forth, but
Yeah.
where
He's
is
just-
that?
I was like, "Okay, that guy's just dead." The hell?
I did like how he looked, Calagar. I thought he looked a little creepy.
My favorite part of the first film by far is the taxi driver choking the brother.
Yeah,
He's like,
that that robot that was just a cool robot animatronic they had.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
What's his name again?
Benny.
Benny, yeah.
That was good. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there was like a cool costume or something I liked in this one, but I'm struggling. They made the bad guy just a dude.
I'll put up, I have a bunch of timestamps here, just literal the seconds and minutes of something that I laughed out loud at. We'll see a little montage of my hair.
Yeah, I don't really got anything else.
Oh yeah, the little girl is not from an acting standpoint, but is carrying the plot of the movie. Every time there's something wrong and the older siblings don't know what to do, the little girl's like, nah,
She stumbles
I just
upon
do
it.
this. You know, they're like, whoa,
Yeah.
you're right.
She opened the lock, and they're like, "Oh, great, you opened the lock." And she's like, "Yeah." And I turned it into a frog.
Yeah.
It's like,
Which is why in the later films, specifically the third one, when they just completely abandon her character, it kind of makes it seem like she's the strongest witch, and then they
Yeah.
just abandon her.
it seemed like they were setting up for that.
So yeah, they just make a recipe and very easily trick the bad guy because they want it more.
It was bad. They joined. Calagar was holding the one item he needed to stop them, and stood there and looked at them. They were joining hands in silence for like that.
Hey,
Was like,
doesn't he have counter spells? Like,
yeah.
how many hundreds of years has he been planning this?
They don't. They stand there 2 or 3 minutes like this, holding each other's hands, just believing and looking at him, and he's like, "No!"
And he can't stop it in any way because they're the main characters.
He's like, "You can't stop me, no!" And then he's like, "What?" And then he just dies.
because we learn in later films that any spell has a counter spell. Why can't he counter the spell?
Because they maybe
Because it's
they,
not a traditional spell.
maybe they weren't saying it out loud. So how can he say something backwards to counter it?
This man has been planning this for hundreds of years in our time, and
Yeah,
it's that poor. Like what?
it was a terrible plan. He could have just done it. Like that's the thing. I mean,
But I do think the first one is cuter than any other one because the only scene in any of these movies that I even remotely liked was at the 58-minute mark when they're like crying and they're like, "What do we do?" And it's like, "Oh, we have to be together to be."
Oh, yeah.
It's the only good scene in any of these movies where I was like, my cold heart got a little warm.
I felt pretty much nothing
yeah.
watching. Maybe I
So
felt.
I didn't like seriously feel stuff, but a little something.
No, I know what you mean. Like I didn't. No emotional beat even like phased me. And
Yeah.
Even in like a bad movie, man. Like oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It was real bad. While it is really bad, do you think the film is bogged down because there are like 5 to 6 protagonists? Because you have the mom, the grandma, the 3 kids, and the goblin boy.
Yeah.
They all have arcs in this film. I think if Marnie is a
didn't do anything.
Marnie is a single child, a solo. I think it becomes a different film, and it'd probably be harder to make sequels. But I think it's a way more compelling movie because the fish out of the water stuff would be more scary.
But they had no interest in keeping her in Halloweentown and exploring the environment and making her a fish out of water.
No, they just go through the movie.
Yeah,
and it's like when they get picked up. It seems like when they get picked up by Benny and drive to Grandma's house, that the rest of the world just stops because the main characters are no longer in that area of the
pretty
world.
much.
And it just seems like the main characters are the only characters in any of these movies.
I think they should have just gotten rid of Sophie. Maybe, I like the idea of just the younger brother kind of being bratty like that.
Yeah.
But they overdid it in the other ones.
And then maybe make the mom and the grandma one character somehow.
It just seems like they kind of just were like, let's make this movie, and then Disney's like, make a sequel. They're like, oh, really? All right, let's do it. And then they said that every single time. Like, they had no actual plan to expand the Halloweentown universe.
Yeah.
And they were just doing shit. Like, I don't know.
I really didn't have a good time watching this movie, but it only got worse for me.
I think it got better. I think it got better for me. Enjoyability. This one I thought was the most boring.
This was the most, like, tied to Halloween, though, I feel. And, like,
yeah.
It just had the spirit of Halloween, and you're in the town the most.
Oh, I agree.
And I don't know. It just, and since the kids are younger, they're more cute, and you can look past the bad acting a little more. I just think the longer it went on, the less they started to give a fuck about even anything.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the sequel, they gave even less fucks because they're adding random shit and lore to this timeline.
Sequel, you say?
What do you mean?
Well, you strike me as unconventional, but in a good way.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so Halloweentown 2. Here's the synopsis. An angry warlock has stolen a magic spell book and plans to turn everybody into whatever costume they're wearing at midnight on Halloween. It's a race against time to get the book back and to save the humans from permanent horror. My first bullet point for number 2 is batshit. And my second point is the brother turns into Riley from National Treasure.
Yeah, I was thinking Riley the whole time.
Might that prize be a kiss?
No, that's disgusting.
I'm just saying you could do better.
I was thinking worse Riley the
he
whole
starts to talk
movie.
like Riley.
Yeah. I was thinking, I put he's too narky. I put Cal, the antagonist of this one, thought he was cool as hell, honestly.
Yeah.
Over here.
How?
You naughty girl.
And I wrote the stakes are even higher. That's what I wrote. Those are my notes pretty much for like the whole movie.
For this one I have way more times for cringy things that I'm gonna put up.
This one made me, I think, laugh more.
Add it.
Just look at my.
I guess I inherited my father's attraction to Cromwell witches.
Just look at my.
Meaning you was everything I hoped it would be.
Just look at my.
Laugh at it, but I thought I enjoyed this one the most out of all 3.
Also, all these movies, way too many shots. This is just a Disney Channel thing, so I understand. But way too many shots where the character says something, and then normally a scene would end, and then just has Marnie like making a weird ass face. Yeah. Or the grandma should be like, I'm like, why are their faces doing that?
Just a weird movie, and like to explain the plot. What is it? So Caligar's son wants revenge, and he wants to enslave the human race or turn them into monsters. So he steals the grandma's book after he rizzes Marnie, and then they go back to Halloweentown because everyone's turning black and white, and they get
stuck there.
And they have to go to Gort's house, but Gort is a new character where everything that gets lost in the universe goes to his house.
Unless it gets lost at Gort's.
But if it gets lost at Gort's, it disappears forever.
Yes. And I feel like most of this film takes place at Gort's.
Yeah.
Which I did not remember that at all.
I didn't remember it, and all they're trying to do is find another spell book, because she has a copy of the spell book, but then after they look for it for a decent amount of time, oh, Cal has both, so then he's like, I have both, then they time travel.
Back to the caveman. That shot was so ridiculous.
Oh my god.
And then they realize that all they have to do is say Trappa. So then they go back and they say Trappa a bunch of times, and then they win.
The plot was ridiculous.
Yeah. What I will say is one of the cooler things in the 3 films that I watched are when they actually get turned into the monsters.
Yeah, I wrote that
gets
down.
Turned into the lizard. That actually looked pretty good.
I wrote something about that. I just wrote Mom turning into Scary Goblin. That's all I wrote. I did like the transition. I thought she did look a little scary.
So, the first film, the mom is smitten with Calabar, so she is betrayed by him. In this film, the daughter is smitten with Calabar's son, and gets betrayed by him. And in the third film, the grandma is smitten with the principal.
Yes.
And gets betrayed by him. What's going on here? Are all
men suck?
Yeah,
men suck.
These
what can I
movies
say?
were definitely written by men, because that's just like, what is a woman problem? They love men.
They get tricked by men. These stupid women. That's the. What's stronger than magic? Men's lies and deceit.
Yeah. The men have to trick the women because they're emotional, and all they do is love.
They will unconditionally love me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there's a litany of really bad effects and CG in all these movies. It looks cheap. Duct tape and glue, duct tape and glue. But this one thing really fucking pissed me off. So they go into the Halloweentown. Everybody's gray, right? The background's gray, too, so you don't technically notice it there. But then, when they go to Grandma's house, and the background is green, and fuck it, what's his name? What's the goblin boy's name?
Luke.
Luke, I swear to God, is painted gray, because they just shot it in color, and you can just tell he was painted, like, gray.
Oh, I, didn't even notice that.
It looks so bad. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. This man is just standing in the background of a color shot, and he's never the focus, so you can't really tell. But you can just tell that it's like me. He looks like me right now. Just like, it's so bad.
He was good. He was the best part. He was the best character, I think, in the second one.
Luke and Dort. I like the Dort actor was having fun with it.
He was cool.
He said it's in the cupboard. I like that.
I wish Luke was in the third one because he seemed like he was going to be a mainstay.
He was my favorite. And I might just like him because he was the dude, but he was my favorite character.
No, he was chill. I was just like a chill because he's the only guy from Halloweentown that's just
a character.
That's like a character, other than Gort. But Gort's
not a character. Though,
was made up for the second movie, and he really has nothing to do with Halloween.
No,
other than the dimension where lost items go happens to be in Halloweentown.
Yeah, and I think Dort was colored in some of the scenes as well.
Yeah, because when he was black and white, he was like a neat freak.
Yeah, Benny's not really a character either.
He's just a guy in this one.
Well, I know, but like in any of them, he's not like he's just kind of a thing.
He's like just a cab driver. Yeah, just a nice, friendly cab driver.
Also, why does Ben Shapiro want his mom banged so badly?
Sophie, Mom hasn't gone out with anyone in 2 years. I'm not going to that party just to tell her that you think her date is a reptile.
When she's at the dance,
oh yeah,
his sister's like, we gotta go warn her. And he's like, Sophie, this is the first time Mom's been on a date in 2 years. We should let her have her phone.
Yeah, and
also, why does he let her? Like, it's so weird.
She gets invited to the high school dance.
Middle school. It's gotta be middle school.
Marnie's in high school in this one. I know that because I think they say she's like 16, and then she might go away to Halloweentown for a year. That was like
she was 13.
No, because she was 13 in the first one. And this is like years later. But, I don't know, she gets invited to a high school, middle school dance, and the son is like, Mom, you go, I'll watch the...
And he's cleaning up the party.
He really...
Also, that dance goes till midnight. What the fuck is that?
That's late.
And not even just goes till midnight. It didn't end at midnight. That's just when they get turned into monsters. When does that school event end?
That would never happen.
Yeah.
Unless Halloween's big there.
It's also like a rave. It looks pretty intense for a kid's dance.
That is every kid's dance in any movie ever, though. I don't know. That movie, I liked it the most. It was the most convoluted, I think, out of the three. But I liked how stupid they were willing to like try and make the movie, because it really made no sense at all.
Yeah, this one just like too many long periods of like drab and them just in the gray background trying to figure out how to not get in the gray background, and then the reason they figure it out is just because they say Trappa a bunch of times, and it's actually mad funny because they realize if you say Trappa you save someone, so they go Trappa, and Debbie Reynolds comes back, she goes, oh, you must have saved me. And then Dort's chilling there. They don't save Dort.
They don't?
Why do they go, Trappa, Trappa? They just go, Trappa. And then Dort's like, oh, stop. It's like, dude, save Dort. He's right there.
Oh, man. Just weird. Just the wizard logic and lore. I mean, they could just throw anything. I feel like the writer's room is probably pretty fun.
Well,
for
in the
this
movie, they say the line, stop thinking about it and just feel it. That is literally also a line from Christopher Nolan's Tenet.
Don't try to understand it. Feel it.
They say that. So that is rarefied air to be in. Is Tenet and Halloweentown II, Calabar's Revenge.
Wow.
And I think there's something like that in Episode 8 as well, Star Wars. But there's just... The thing that bothers me is it's... Sure, these are cheaply made TV movies, so there's bad VFX. I mean, if you look at I did this by accident. Horrible VFX, bad VFX. It's just like really, but that's fine. Bad acting, fine. But when the world that you're writing, because the writing doesn't have to be bad.
No.
If you don't have money, the acting and the set design stuff can be bad, and the visual effects, but you can still write something interesting. They didn't even care about writing something interesting. Like the way that the magic works when you just need it to work.
No, this was literally just tacked on to the first one. This one, it felt like very just like, oh, let's just make a sequel. It's his son.
Why does Marnie need to train to be a wizard if all you have to do is just think?
Trappa. You have to say words. The spell, it made no sense. Every time they say a spell in the movie, it's like 3 sentences long, and Luke's like, well, spells can like be like a word sometimes. What did you say? And she's like, Trappa. Come on.
Yeah. And then the brother hits one trap at the end to fucking the driver, and he thinks he's the coolest motherfucker around.
Trappa. Wow! Talk about going on a crash diet!
Then never uses magic again.
Yeah. So that's 3. I don't have much more for 2. I don't have much more for 2. I liked it slightly less than the first one. And then, not to jump on what we're about to say, but big drop off for the third.
The third one, I think the plot made even less sense, but it wasn't as confusing.
After I watched the first one, I was like, that wasn't good, but hopefully the second 2 are better. After I watched the second one, I was like, I don't want to watch the third one.
Really?
Yeah. And then I sadly did last night. Halloweentown 3, or it's called Halloweentown High.
Halloweentown High, yeah. It seems like its own thing. It's like branching out now.
The synopsis: Marnie organizes a student exchange program between her mortal school and her Halloweentown High. The first students to participate in this program are a witch, a warlock, a troll, and an ogre. That was the whole synopsis that I copied and pasted.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot more going on where it's like there's like a council of wizards, and they're mad at Marnie, and they're threatening to take her powers away, and then this guy's son is the gay guy from High School Musical, and he gets mad at him at the end because the judge ends up being the evil guy.
Well, the judge with the many hands was good.
He was cool. He was cool.
It was, I don't know, a
little bit of a Draco Malfoy situation going on here.
This one's a little cool because it's like it deals with the consequences of the second one directly. They opened the gates to Halloweentown.
Also, this one, the first 2, it takes like 20 minutes for the movie to actually start. This one, in 2 minutes in, and she's at the scene with the judge and the council.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
This one just gets right into it. And this one dares to be different, which originally I was like, pretty cool. But then it gets so aggressively bad that I no longer gave it points for that.
It dared to be cheaper somehow.
Yeah. So the brother hasn't developed as an actual character in these movies at all. In this one, he's just
anti-magic, anti-fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really, this whole movie, they dropped a whole new set of lore onto us. This town council that was never mentioned.
Yeah.
These knights in metal armor that are back for the first time in 1,000 years because the gate has been finally opened between the worlds.
Also, why the fuck is the grandma teaching science and history? She's teaching like every subject.
It seems like she tricked the principal.
Yeah, but then the principal tricked her.
Well, the principal was kind of like, I don't know, give me like, I don't even know, just like a Freemasons type thing, like that, where he's like against magical people. But in the real world, these magical Halloweentown people don't exist.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
I just don't even know where any
to
of
the
it
layman,
comes
they
from.
don't even know that they're there.
Yeah, because at the end of the movie, when they're revealed as like a troll and a fairy and a werewolf, everyone's like, "Whoa!" Because this is the first time anything like this has ever happened, and all they're like is like, "Oh, we accept you. You're mad good at football, werewolf."
Yeah. So then in this one, the brother, same thing. The mom, hot in all three. Pretty much sidelined in this film.
Yeah.
And the youngest daughter completely sidelined.
Didn't even know she was.
You
in the
forgot
movie.
she was even in the
Yeah,
fucking
I didn't
movie.
know.
I can't remember any scenes that had like her doing something in it.
She probably just did something magical in like a scene or something stupid.
You mentioned that she quit acting, so
I don't think she acted after doing the quadrilogy or whatever.
they changed her cool bag that would follow her around into a fucking CGI lizard because of the Harry Potter book.
I like the floating
monster book.
Just like a floating bag is cool. Bottomless floating bag. It didn't need to be anything else.
Oh, we also said this off air, but the marshmallow spider just clearly ripping off the chocolate frog from Harry Potter in the first one.
Still
Is
cool.
that the first
though.
one or second one?
First one, yeah, first one.
They should have just ripped off Harry Potter more because this shit is horrible.
They should have done like actual Halloween things, like I don't know, like even just real world, like in world Halloweentown stuff, like their lore, like just like when Gort had a giant pet roach in the second one.
Yeah,
I thought that was fun. Like, why can't they just have like weird stuff? Because Halloweentown,
because it costs money.
Halloweentown is the same as Earth, except the people are Halloween people. That's it. Nothing is different. They have a mayor. They have a Supreme Court. They don't do anything.
So I don't know if it was cropped on Disney Plus, but if it wasn't, the shot direction is notably worse here. There's heads being just cut off and not in like a stylized like Good Time or Uncut Gems way. The Safdie brothers. It's like in a shitty way, like they forgot that like supposed to have some headspace. This one's the least Halloween centric. Yeah. This one barely gets to Halloween till the very end at the festival. Other than that, like almost no mention of Halloween. You can tell we were talking about why the movie was set like this. Why? Because if it was set at a Halloweentown high school, it would be more interesting than if it was set at a human high school with Halloween characters pretending to be humans. Because that's cheap.
It's misleading, the title.
Yeah, because you got a whole school and it's like Harry Potter, how they're teaching. Like the one teacher, they pull out the plants. It's like the creepy monsters. They're all flying around in the one Snape one.
That would
be
cool.
Getting classes, because then you learn how they learn the magic instead of just wanting it to happen.
I think that's the fourth movie.
It's visually intriguing. It's interesting. It adds to the lore. The way it is in here, it's just a werewolf that's pretending to be a person. It's not visually intriguing.
He's a guy.
Yeah, him interacting with other normal actors isn't interesting. I'm not learning how the magic works.
They barely even interact with the werewolf. He doesn't really exist in the movie.
And these movies don't realize that you can learn things without the character explicitly saying something. So if they said it at the school, you could learn so much about the lore just by being at a Halloweentown school. But you're at an American high school where there's 6 Halloween trolls and ogres that are pretending to be students.
I don't know. They said they had a gremlin there. I remember I wrote that down because they said one of the students was a gremlin, and
That's not a term that's trademarked? I'm surprised.
I don't know. In my notes, I said the stakes have never been lower here. The worst bad guys of the trilogy.
Oh, yeah. When he sends her the note, when the dude gives her the note to ask her out,
Yeah.
it's an 8x11 page. He rips it down like this. It's a long ass note.
And I think she was unfolding
Yeah, she was
for a
like,
while.
You want to go out with me?
And very strange, his insane attraction to this girl. It's
Yeah,
only
bit of a bait and
exists.
switch.
Oh yeah, only to make you think that. But this guy, he comes on so strong, and Marnie seems like she's not really about it, like because she's like ditching him and stuff, and he shows up to her house.
Yeah.
And
Well, she's only not into it because she's got other things going on. It seems like.
that guy truly loved her, and he went on to do big things. That actor's name.
Well, I'm right here. This franchise really preyed on Potter fever because those books came out in the '90s. This isn't fully Wizards and Harry Potter and Wizards school and stuff, but you can tell some of these elements. They were like,
She's
saw
a
what was
witch.
popular at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's do that.
I don't know, I just think there's no real excuse to make something like this because you could just write something a tad bit better.
Yeah, there's one where Dylan and the troll are hanging out. She turns into the troll, and he says,
You're a troll. You're a big pink furry troll.
So what?
What do you mean, so what?
So what? I never want to see you again, you stupid human. So what?
Oh, Natalie, wait.
and then she leaves.
I got
and then
that.
he goes,
That's
Natalie, wait.
And he doesn't even like her. Like, he doesn't even like her like that. At the end of the movie, it's established that they're just going to be friends because they think each other are ugly.
Yeah.
And
I
I
also
thought,
like how we were down the same. We both thought that was notable enough to write down.
you big ugly troll.
I was barely paying attention at that point. I heard that, and I was like, whoa.
I thought they were going to ship those two together. Or maybe ship Marnie and Luke. I was hoping maybe something fun would happen.
Oh, wait, the Marshmallow Spider was in this one. Because Marshmallow Spider
Yeah.
is straight ripped from Harry Potter. So, notably, no Halloweentown in this Halloweentown movie. There's no scene in Halloweentown.
Except the council.
Which, yeah. For some reason, I was led to believe that was in some, like, void. But it
seems
probably
like it's in a
at,
void.
like, a city hall at Halloweentown or something.
I don't know. This was filmed in Utah, and the mall they were in got shut down in 2008.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty much all I know else about the movie. Here.
An hour and 7 minutes until Halloween stuff comes into the movie. An hour and 7 minutes.
The
into an
finale.
hour and 20-minute movie. Are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding me? This one has the old lady rezzed up. This is insane. This is insanely bad writing every time. That's one of my bullet points. Every problem in this franchise is so easily solved. It's insane.
It's either easily solved or the solution just appears.
It always does. So that's what I have on 3. So while these movies are clearly not good, doesn't matter. They're made for 5-year-olds.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter.
Do they care? Do they even notice that it's bad?
But I think you could put on a movie of that, like, made for that age range that's just better. Like, there's so many things that are better. Like, put on literally Hocus Pocus. Like, I thought that's kind of like the maybe not as kiddie, but still like a PG movie. That's a way better made movie about Halloween. And I thought that's what we were going to get into with these. These were so cheap and not really Halloween-y at all.
So did rewatching these films as an adult change your opinion?
Yep.
Yeah, these were unwatchable garbage. I'm just going to say that.
And I know not all DCOMs are like this, because I know they're not meant for us, but I have seen a couple of them. If I watched Smart House right now, I would be having fun.
I think so as well.
I would be having fun.
And I think we watched even seen this movie, we'd be like laughing.
Even like maybe like a Luck of the Irish, I'd be clapping along.
And I think we'd be having more fun watching like the 13th Year.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be better. Because I remember that movie being very melodramatic.
Yeah,
But I think we'd be laughing at it like way harder. Than
this one, it didn't try to be dramatic. It really just tried to be like a cute family movie.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I have almost no respect for these films. I don't know if we've said it on the camera, but Debbie Reynolds, she's good.
Yeah.
She's kind of carrying performance wise here.
I don't mind like Marnie, but it's like Disney Channel acting. It's just all whatever. I did like how they carried 2 people from this into High School Musical.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas and the troll girl.
Well, Dylan is Zac Efron.
What?
I don't like girls or Halloween. I like in the second movie when he's asking out like every girl that's at his house.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck off.
You know what? It is weird that even in the first movie, they were having like people over their house dressed in Halloween costumes, like hanging out. And the mom's like, no, you can't go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Man, nothing on anything. They ruined.
Yeah, so they have a Halloween party. And well, in the first one, 2 of her Marnie's friends are over. They're about to go trick-or-treat. Second one, they're having a massive Halloween
having a pregame
party at their house.
They're having a pregame for the ball.
Yeah.
For 16-year-olds.
So, what could you have done for 5 hours that is worse than watching these 3 movies? I don't know.
Probably watch the 4th one.
I think like 5 hours of community service, I'd feel better about doing that.
Well, yeah, you'd feel good internally about that.
Yeah.
At least.
Or like 5 hours of throwing a ball against the wall.
I think I'd rather just go to work.
Yeah, I will say last night when I was watching it in my free time, the 3rd one, I was like, this is a waste of my time. I wish Disney Plus had it 2 times watching.
That would have made it a lot better. I'm glad I watched them. I'm glad I have a new perspective on them. And I feel like when we tell people this, we'll be perceived as haters.
Yeah.
Until
I urge you to watch the movies.
Implore you to watch them all.
Watch all 3 in 24 hours, too. If you could change one thing about the Halloweentown movies, what would it be?
Make it about Halloweentown.
That's exactly what I said. I have 4 things. More focused magical lore.
Mm-hmm.
More time in Halloweentown per film. Less protagonists. Or you can just delete the franchise. Those are the 4.
Just redo.
Those are the 4 that I have. Because the lore, we've been over this in this video, terrible. Halloweentown, for being the titular thing, isn't really in the movies too much.
Except in the first one, it's just town square.
Less protagonists. The protagonists carry from film to film, but their arcs stop after the first one.
Yeah, no, nothing changes. I don't even really think Marnie has an arc.
The arcs, there's arcs in the first one, and then they just stop.
I feel like she just finds out she's like a witch, and then she's like, yeah.
Or you can delete this franchise. Watch Harry Potter. Watch anything else.
No, watch this video. It's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Watch the movies. Validate us afterwards. Tell us we're right. Our opinions are always right. Pay us. Patreon coming once we hit 200